Now at 5, the grant bringing electric school buses to southeast Kansas. Plus, the barnyard comes to the classroom in southwest Missouri. And
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky visits Washington during President Biden's final months in office. I'm Natalie Brand with a look at how Ukraine is weighing into the race for the White House.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A southeast Kansas school district will get electric school buses due to an EPA grant. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The buses for the Iola School District will be funded through a nearly $700,000 grant, courtesy of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Within that bill, $5 billion was set aside to provide electric school buses to districts all across our country. Iola is one of nearly 100 school districts in the 4-state area to be given this type of grant.
2 years ago, we were aware that EPA was looking at implementing EV buses in the school districts, but at that time we didn't qualify as a priority zone area. And this past school year, the EPA expanded that zone area, and Iola District was able to qualify.
The school district hopes the new school buses will be implemented into the bus routes this January. Seniors from McDonald County High School got busy today educating the district's elementary school students about the importance of agriculture in an event they call Ag Day. Administrators say it allows seniors to foster mentorship and teach the next generation where high-quality food is produced. Students received popcorn and got the chance to ride the big red tractor.
Having them see all of the different aspects that are involved in agriculture and all of these things that are around them and the things that they might drive by on the road every day but not actually know anything about.
One high school senior says he's honored to teach the younger generation about agriculture because he has dreams of becoming a farmer after college. Weather-wise, nice day out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty.
Yeah, plenty of sunshine for us today. Temperatures great. Most of us upper 70s to near 80 degrees. 77 in Joplin, 78 is where we stand in Pittsburgh, 74 in Monette, 80 in Bella Vista, 80 in Miami. Chanute is sitting at 82 degrees. Through the evening, we slide back into the 60s, eventually the 50s. We'll start to get some clouds increasing later on tonight, but as of right now, we are looking pretty good. Not a whole bunch going on across the entire Central Plains. But of course, we have strong Hurricane Helene, which is out across the Gulf of Mexico. Iowa is just west of Tampa Bay, and this will make landfall later on tonight, kind of up in this curvature of Florida. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that. And will we get anything from Helene? We'll talk about that here in a bit.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Washington asking for help from the Biden administration and Congress. But some are accusing Zelensky of meddling in the upcoming presidential election. Natalie Brand has more details now from the White House.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with President Biden at the White House to sell his plan to win the war against Russia.
I raised with President Biden the plan of victory. Today we are preparing to discuss the details to strengthen the plan.
President Biden, in his final months in office, is promising to surge security assistance to Ukraine.
Today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance.
Mr. President, can you bring an end to this war?
Of course we have to.
On Capitol Hill, senators who met with Zelensky indicated one of his top requests was to be able to strike targets inside Russia.
President Zelensky says he wants to end this war through negotiations. The only way you're going to get Russia to the table is hit them harder than we're hitting them today.
As Republicans remain divided over additional security assistance to Ukraine, former President Trump has not met with President Zelensky during this latest trip to the U.S.
The president of Ukraine is in our country, and he's making little nasty aspersions toward your favorite president, me.
Trump allies in the U.S. House say they will launch an investigation into Zelensky's visit to an ammunition facility in Scranton, Pennsylvania, with 3 of the state's Democrats, accusing Zelensky of campaigning in a key battleground state.
I think it was wildly inappropriate what happened, and we cannot have foreign nations interfering in our elections, and I think that's what it amounted to.
Following the visit, the House Speaker called on Zelensky to fire Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Johnson was the only congressional leader who did not meet with Zelensky today. Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has been a staunch supporter of aid to Ukraine, was on hand for Zelensky's Capitol Hill visit. If you plan to vote in November, now is the time to register. Take a look. These are the deadlines to register. Arkansas has the first cutoff in our area. That's October 7th. In Missouri, the deadline is October 9th. In Oklahoma, you have until October 11th. And in Kansas, you're going to have to register by October 15th. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on federal charges, including bribery, conspiracy, and campaign finance violations. The newly unsealed indictment alleges the mayor accepted illegal campaign donations, including those from Turkish businessmen, in exchange for political favors. He's now the first sitting mayor in the city's history to be indicted on federal charges. Adams insists he's innocent and vows to remain in office while he fights his legal battle. Still ahead, planning for the future.
Life insurance is an important part of any financial plan. I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with tips to make sure you've got the right coverage.
But first, recovering from stroke and brain injuries with the help of robots. That's just ahead in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, research from the University of Copenhagen shows artificial intelligence is better at predicting breast cancer risk than current clinical benchmarks for risk assessment. The new technology was trained on breast tissue biopsies to look for so-called zombie cells, which are still metabolically active but have stopped dividing. They are associated with cancer development. Researchers say use of the new AI in a clinical setting is still years away. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found more than 80% of pregnant women are iron deficient by their third trimester, despite having general good health and a high resource setting. Of the more than 600 Irish women who participated in that study, none was anemic in the first trimester of pregnancy. The study authors recommend doctors screen all pregnant women for iron deficiency. Researchers in Europe are going high-tech to give more support to stroke and brain injury survivors during rehabilitation. They're trying out robotic coaches to speed up rehab. Tina Kraus has that story.
Daily routines are a struggle for Jake McDonald after his stroke 6 months ago in Scotland. He's getting some strength back with physiotherapy, but knows he has a long road ahead.
I still need a lot of work on this side.
There we go. Researchers hope to speed up his recovery with a robotic coach.
Today I will be your exerciser companion. Are you ready to start? I want you to raise your arm as high as possible to the front, just like I'm showing here.
McDonald is one of the first people in the UK to try the technology that interprets a patient's brain waves to understand what exercise they want to do.
We will do 3 repetitions of each exercise. I will mimic your movements.
Scientists in Austria already tested the tech on 16 stroke and brain injury survivors for 3 months and found the real-time incentive motivated patients to keep going.
You have completed the set. Great work.
And researchers say that's the goal.
To try and get people more motivated and then adhering to their exercise and then getting back to their daily living, which is what people ultimately want to do.
Well done.
Scientists say they're not looking to replace physiotherapists, but hope the bots can team up with them to get patients like McDonald back to living their best life sooner. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Amazing, I know. The future has arrived. Scientists in Scotland are planning more trials and one day hope to roll out robotic coaches for patients in UK hospitals. September is National Suicide Prevention Month. Data from the National Center for Health Statistics shows suicide was the 11th leading cause of death for all ages in 2022, which is the same as it was the year before. Rates generally increased for females aged 25 and older from 2020 to 2022. And firearm use was the leading means of suicide deaths for women and men in 2022. If you or someone you know is in crisis, call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That is a look at today's health news. Later, the projected numbers for holiday shopping this year.
Plus, we're going to look at the latest of Hurricane Helene coming up next. It definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine across the region. And we are looking pretty good as we go into the evening hours. One thing we do desperately need is more rain. Of course, none today for the month, just a little over an inch. And the new drought tracker, it comes out every Thursday. We have a severe drought from Bartlesville, northeastern Oklahoma, through the Joplin metro, and then everybody else a severe drought, and then just dry, which is an improvement once you get out toward Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, Neodesha, also a Yates Center. Looking pretty good right now. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We can drop south. Here is Hurricane Helene, which is tracking north, just a jaunt toward the east, but here's the eye wall. So about 100, 150 miles to the west of Tampa Bay. And this is going to make landfall later on tonight. Right now, it is a Category 3 hurricane, clocking winds at 125 miles per hour. Should make landfall 9 or 10 p.m. this evening. And then race toward the north, passes through Atlanta in the morning. And then we're going to watch this moisture kind of work back toward the west, toward us, as we get into Friday afternoon, as this system completely weakens. But it looks like most of the rain is going to stay just east of the area. All right, mid to upper 70s, the lower 80s right now. It looks pretty good. Here's 7th and Rangeline, currently sitting at 77. Northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but overall looks pretty good. Through the evening, 60s, eventually down into the 50s. We do have some cumulus clouds which are shooting across the region, but besides that, it's pretty quiet. Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Really, besides Helene, all the way west, looks pretty good. We still have this big dome of high pressure in charge. Until that breaks down, we're not going to get any big storm systems in here. And we don't have any in the forecast. All right, let's go through time. Clouds start to increase late tonight, mid to upper 50s to start. Mostly cloudy skies by noon. We'll be into lower 70s, a notch or two cooler tomorrow, just due to the clouds across the region. Look where the rain is, mainly Springfield, Branson east. We may get a stray shower or two. Cloudy skies stick around tomorrow night into Saturday morning, then mostly cloudy skies once again Saturday afternoon. High temps right around 80 degrees, and then we'll start to clear out once we get into Saturday night and also Sunday morning. Day planner on your Friday, 56 to start, 74 by noon. High temp right around 78 degrees. Let's jump into tomorrow evening. 4-state Friday night high school football. A little cloud interference, 72 at kickoff, 64 by the fourth quarter, and wrapping up your weekend, 80 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. We'll have overnight lows into the 50s. Sunday a little bit warmer, but the weekend looks pretty good. 78 tomorrow, 80 Saturday, 82 Sunday, 85 Monday, back down Tuesday, back up Wednesday, back down late next week. So we get a couple cold fronts. We just don't have any rain in the forecast.
And those cold fronts are really barely even cool.
I know.
Very pleasant weather ahead. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, Disney Plus cracks down on password sharing. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the start of the holiday shopping season is more than a month away, and online spending is expected to break records. According to a new report from Adobe Analytics, shoppers are projected to spend $241 billion online this year. That's up 8% from last year. Sales analysts also project total retail sales, both in person and online, will grow around 3% during the last 3 months of this year. The Federal Trade Commission is cracking down on businesses that use deceptive artificial intelligence to lure customers. In a new law enforcement sweep operation AI Comply, the FTC took action against companies it said used AI to trick, mislead, or defraud by creating fake reviews. Disney is officially cracking down on password and account sharing. The company rolled out its paid sharing program to users in many regions around the world, including the U.S. According to a Disney blog post, Disney Plus basic account holders will be able to add an extra user for $6.99 per month. For Disney Plus premium accounts, adding a user will cost an extra $9.99 a month. Only one extra member will be allowed per account, and it is not available as part of the Disney bundle. September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. The topic can be difficult to talk about, but CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says it's an important part of financial planning. Jill has a look at different policy options.
To determine if you need life insurance, ask yourself this. If I were to die now, would anyone endure a financial hardship? If the answer is yes, determine how much coverage you need by using an online calculator. You'll want to purchase a policy that will cover your loved one's living expenses. And if you're the primary caretaker for your kids or adult parents, don't forget to factor in the additional cost of care for them. Some policies also include options to put money in a college fund. Policyholders also need to choose between term life and permanent life. Term life insurance is often more affordable, but the coverage is only set for a number of years that is set by the policy. It expires when that term is up. Permanent life insurance is more expensive than term because it covers you for your entire life. The policy can build value over time, and you may be able to access the funds while you're still living. Or it could be left for loved ones when you pass away. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
A federal judge has approved a $600 million class action settlement for residents impacted by last year's catastrophic Norfolk Southern train derailment in Ohio. Anyone who lived within 2 miles of that disaster can get up to $70,000 per household for property damage, plus another $25,000 per person for health problems. Lawyers say the decision clears the way for payments to start going out before the end of the year. And contract talks are set to resume between Boeing and striking union machinists tomorrow. More than 30,000 workers walked off the job at the company's plants in Washington State and Oregon nearly 2 weeks ago. This week, Boeing raised its pay increase offer from 25% to 30% over 4 years, plus bonuses. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, inside the world of online scams robbing Americans of millions of dollars. Then on KOAM News at 6, details of a vehicle crash into a downtown Joplin business today, plus why some Oklahoma homeowners could lose some insurance coverage. And Fairland Softball hosts a regional championship. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Look at this, a 300 to 400 pound squatter has taken up residence under a California home. Neighbors in Sierra Madre say this bear typically leaves around 10 p.m. each night. The Department of Fish and Wildlife has been tracking him using a night camera. They say he returns home to the crawl space every morning. The homeowners say the bear has been living there for at least a couple of weeks. They've named him Junior, even though they think he's actually a really old bear.
We're not at all afraid of him. He's just an old bear. He needed a place to make into a den.
We get bears, coyotes. I had a rabbit shoot through the yard, followed by a bobcat.
A lot of homes have dens. Usually they're not that particular sort. The Department of Fish and Wildlife hopes the bear will leave on its own and will then board up the crawl space under the home to make sure he doesn't return. Too bad, I guess.
Yeah, they could have boarded it up before he even got there.
That would have been a thought. But, maybe they wanted access.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't think that a bear was going to take up residence under the house.
Very true.
The weather looking pretty nice.
It does. 78 on Friday, 80 on Saturday. Now we are going to have mostly cloudy skies the next couple days, but overall, looking pretty good.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And, of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. So we'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.